here we are back again in your hearts and in your minds. Dundee League Fantasy Football Podcast, Week 5. Skipped last week. Fortunately, we could have gave Cody quite the ear beating last week for losing to Jake. I mean, we still can, and we will. We'll get into it. Just for sake of time, why don't we just jump right into Cody's team and have him start laying out what he did to Bailey this week. But there's some misery hidden in there, a la Mr. Williams.
There's a little misery with the Williams. Receivers are available for trades. Everyone should know. I need a running back. But the story of this matchup is Jared Goff being the number 5 quarterback in all fantasy football.
Just crushing, we were saying. Lions games, we were saying before, 70.3 on average total points scored in Lions games. So be smashing that over button if you're betting on the Lions, people. And then as soon as you do that, they'll have a 10-point game.
Yeah, I mean,
usually how it goes.
But do it.
Goff put up 33 points without his number 1 target too. So
yeah, they were playing Seattle, but they also, out of anybody, they played Philly the best of anybody so far. Like Jacksonville game will run for their money in the first half this weekend, but in terms of you just talking about like the finishing score line, Detroit only lost by 3 points to Philly, in week 1, 38-35. So
yeah, and they were down. Like they mounted a comeback. They, as Jake would say, they play with a lot of heart.
I don't think they do that again to Philly. I think Philly's got its defense sorted.
Was playing with a lot of heart something that I specifically said? Or is that just universally talked about in the world of sports?
What Jake says about the Lions is that specific phrase. I've heard it like 6 times, and I get a chuckle out of it.
Hey man, if you'd have watched Hard Knocks, you'd be saying it too. There's a theme.
Theme. We're not going to win.
I like the Lions. Hard. I'm not trying to take that away from them. Yeah,
I think the Lions.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to be in the game.
The Lions
play to compete in the game.
Yeah, the Lions are going to get to 5 wins this year. I think they will.
Some might call it passion.
It might.
I think they will get to 5 wins though, because I think they beat the Bears twice, and I think they might steal a game from the Packers or Vikings.
They get more than 5 wins.
I don't know if they win more than 5. That defense is real bad.
Yeah, but they got Jared Goff.
They do, and he's killing it. I just feel like if they are going to win like 6-7 games though, you gotta beat Seattle. You
gotta win that game.
It's true, but fuck that. We don't need to talk about that. Let's talk about how bad I beat Bailey.
Yeah, let's do that. So I mean,
almost tripled her up, not playing a kicker because I lost a bet with Jake, and ESPN will not allow butthole in a name. So dodged a bullet there.
Grandfather the butthole, as they say.
Grandfather butthole, that's me.
Slid in under the bar. Got in there before Disney did. You got to that butthole before Disney did, as we say.
And you know what? No, I'm not doing that.
It's a family show, dude.
It's a family show. Yeah, we can't pull that out.
Scientific term.
We're here for the kids.
Pull out.
Yeah,
we're here for the kids.
Oh man! So we were talking about Eckler. A lot of points, not a lot of touches, but you know what? You'll take 32 points, basically 31.9. Might as well round her up.
True. Yeah, no, that one feels good. That one feels good. Tyreek Hill still doing it. Mike Williams having a good time. Little stream in defense for some points. Everything was fine. Christian Kirk had an off day and it never mattered, so that's good.
Go ahead.
I'll just say the real story about this game isn't my good week. It's Bailey's.
Is this the lowest score all time?
Possibly.
Yeah, like
that's lowest score all time. Maybe
48
in the half PPR era. Come on, man.
Yeah,
that's
rough.
Yeah,
that's rough stuff. Bailey's got to make some moves.
She had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of her 9 spots not eclipse the 5-point mark.
And it's not like she just didn't start the right people. She's got to change her roster over because
she's got a Kenny Pickett problem. Because Kenny Pickett looks like he loves the other Pickens. Pickett to Pickens. because Pickett was throwing it deep to Pickens and Claypool, and he was also throwing some picks. Pickett was throwing Pickens and picks. It's a lot of picks, a lot of
I love what you just did. That made my ears happy.
I do what I can, man. You know.
Thank you.
Got away with words sometimes, but
well, she doesn't have any depth either, so now she can swap them out. She's starting her optimal lineup, and that's it.
That's what I'm saying. Like she needs a new roster.
Well, she scooped up Melvin Gordon. He's gonna be probably a solid running back too now, rest of the way. Because he's gonna get all the work. Mike Boone's gonna maybe get 20% of the work, but it's gonna be 80% Melvin Gordon. You know, you get that on any NFL, even Houston, doesn't matter, you know, like look at Dameon Pierce, you know, what he's doing. Like if you get all the work, man, like you're gonna score some points, you know. But
yeah.
I think Dameon Pierce is also good.
He is good.
Yeah.
A lot of
so, I mean, not just the numbers of touches. Like he's using it.
He did hit like an 80-yard run, I believe, or something. No, which juiced
94
stats a little bit. Yeah. So
94.
He still did it.
Not
every guy can do that, you know.
That's right.
So yeah.
When we talked about in the last recording before the technical error, whether or not Bailey had made any moves of any kind this year. And there is a transaction counter. So I have confirmed 0 trades, 0 acquisitions, 0 drops, 0 activated other players out of her bench. Bailey has done nothing besides show up to the draft and draft.
Come on, Bailey.
Probably going to change that. Thinking her lineup's going to be locked in all year.
She needs to get Tyler Lockett in there.
And she was barely at the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were a little slow there. What did you say? What did you say, Cody? That connection was a little slow there.
Yeah, which of us was slow?
Patrick, I think
it's probably me. Yeah. Oh well. I mean, he probably wasn't saying anything that important anyway, you know. But
right, just we cannot get him to answer this question.
No. Yeah.
Patrick, what do you think we're talking about right now?
Hey, I don't know. Don't worry about it. So
anyhow, away with words, just not with internet connections.
That's what I said. I got away with words sometimes. You know what I mean? Cover all bases, just like a weatherman. Tyler Lockett, though, I don't know why we're not playing him. That man's been getting 6 targets plus every week. Well, I know why too. Okay, but I'm trying to be charitable and say get Tyler Lockett in there because
maybe you should stop being charitable and you start being real.
What is this, real world?
Real world versus road rules?
Stop being nice and start being real. 7 people picked together to live in a
house. 12 people together to
all of their drama over the course of a season. None of it real.
Cody beat Bailey. You take Cody's 2 top scorers and he beats Bailey by double digits. So not a good week for Bailey. Pretty good week for Cody. Pull back to 2-2. We get to see the elevated trophy again.
Yeah. You like to see Michael Gallup get in the end zone, you know?
You do. It's really nice. We probably don't need to spend much more time on this matchup, though, because it's gruesome. I appreciate you guys putting a spotlight on how bad I beat the fuck out of Bailey, but I think,
we're able to give you that like positivity because we also know that you lost your RB2 and you don't have a replacement. So I'll tell you a bone of positivity.
I know you're dead inside, so I don't need that.
I mean, that's a stable condition. Okay.
There's a certain irony of you having the Ezekiel Elliott jersey hanging behind you when you were playing against the team that had Zeke while you had Tony Pollard. It was also eclipsed. There's a whole thing there. I'm just not sure exactly how to make a joke out of it.
There's something there. But I don't know if we got time to think it out, you know.
So, I mean, like, just text it later.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We
can put an addendum to the podcast, right?
with the phone that you're about to get later on. The last thing I wanted to say that about this matchup was that part of the reason Christian Kirk had a down day, other than just getting Eagles, he played on the outside because Zay Jones was hurt. So they made him play on the outside instead of in the slot, and he's been killing it in the slot. And he had a rough time on
it wasn't just that, man. That rain coming down made Trevor Lawrence shook it. Trevor
They turned
Lawrence
the
could
ball over,
not
like, 6
hold
times.
on to the ball in that rain. It was bad. Yeah,
He fumbled it like 4 times and 3 interception.
Yeah.
I mean, Erica was
Yeah,
dying.
it just looked like he was completely unprepared
That's
for a
tough.
wet ball. I watched almost all of that game, and you could just tell they were playing with a half a quarterback.
It just seems odd because you're playing, you're playing Jacksonville. It's going to be damp down there a lot. You should learn how to hold on to a moist ball. You know what I'm saying?
I think you're right, but it was Philly rain, and Philly rain's dirtier. You know,
it is. It's full of sadness and
and battery acid,
fatherless homes,
and rum ham,
alcohol.
all
The
bad
Clouds
things.
actually soak up the alcohol. They ran it down. It's part of their strategy. But anyway,
let's get out of this
rain
one.
it down. How about we rain it in?
Let's get out of this one.
Yeah.
Next matchup. Which one do you guys want next?
Well, why don't we do your guys'?
Let's get all this over with.
Hey,
This
because
lucky break that Patrick gets to get his 3rd win of the season.
hey, first
Is
of
it a
all,
lucky break when you just don't fix your lineup?
That's right,
Yes.
dude.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? This is what I've been thinking about this for the last 2 days. What to say about this? Hey, man, you got the best team. We're pulling out all the stops. We need all the breaks we can get. We need Amon Ra out. We need everybody hurt. We need you forgetting to take Kamara out, man. We need it, or we're not winning this match.
I didn't forget to take him out. I forgot that he played 4 hours earlier than everybody else. That's what I forgot.
All I'm
I
hearing
think Patrick hired a hooker. I think that's what happened here.
Hey, we have our ways.
Well, I woke up and
went
went downstairs 2 minutes before opening kickoff because I knew that Kamara was a maybe.
Not 2 minutes before opening kickoff, as it turns out.
3 hours after kickoff.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Yes.
You probably caught the field goal at the end.
And I went to put that mother trucker on the bench and put in Rashad Penny, who ended up scoring 28.2. Rashad Penny had a coming out party on top of Kamara not playing. I could have put up a $140 and put this shit out of reach, but I mismanaged it. I had the better team, I feel like, and you were the better manager. So you got the W.
It's too bad you can't get Rashad Penny against the Lions again, huh?
Yeah. I mean, he looked good, though. He looked real good running the ball. But, I mean.
Touchdown with 150 yards.
But Geno Smith also looked good. You know what I'm saying? Like
Geno Smith looked amazing in that game.
He's looked good a couple times this year. He looked pretty good against Denver, too.
He did.
What was his fantasy total against Denver?
Like 17.
Oh, no.
It was like
he also outscored Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady last week in Dave's lineup. So Geno Smith's not having a terrible year.
In 4 weeks, I believe Geno Smith has been over 17 points 3 out of 4 times, which you'll take that from Geno Smith. You know what I mean?
Because you definitely didn't draft him. So, he's just pick up streaming kind of. If you get 17, it's serviceable.
Well, we could talk about Trish going down later after getting that hero performance out of him still. She's still going to lose the Dave, but
let's jump back into ours, though. You are
for sure.
Currently, you took me over by 0.06, and if Devo doesn't touch the ball again, and my 2 losses this year are by a combined less than 1 point, I'm going to feel a kind of way about it.
Hey,
well, you should feel better because he's definitely going to touch the ball more in this game.
I'm hoping I beat you by 28 to make it a moot point about Rashad Penny is what I hope.
I'm hoping for that too. I'm hoping for that too.
You make it
because
feel
then I won't have to use that crutch anymore.
I don't think he's scoring 30 points against the Rams though. They look stout, but we'll see. Go ahead. No, you talk about your side.
All right, so Josh Allen did all right. I had a best game of the year for McCaffrey, which looks all right. I don't know what else to say. I got CeeDee Lamb went off for 20 points. I got T. Higgins for 20 points. I had a good outing, but a mistake cost me the week. I even got Brian Muth down on the bench if I started him over Pitts, which I wasn't going to do. That would have given me another cushion too. Broncos defense shit the bed, only get me a point. They had 17 last week, so I figured maybe they're an every week kind of play, and then this week showed me that that's not the case. So
they gave up 200 yards, over 200 yards on the ground to the Raiders.
Yeah,
Raiders are like a bottom 10 PFF offensive line, and they got boathoused. by the Raiders.
Not just any running back, but to the running back you had in the lineup that you just traded for last week too.
Oh,
so
it was amazing. I was so stoked about that.
This
I
feels
was
good
going
because
nuts.
I'm currently in the living room where Boathouse was born.
Yeah,
It
dude.
feels better. It feels better sitting here to come back again.
Hey, Boathouse, man. Boathouse will never die. I
In my
will make
heart.
sure that sticks around forever. It's a
That's
beautiful term.
It really is.
We'll trademark that someday if we haven't already. We should. Somebody's
We
gonna
should.
steal
You
that
got to
shit.
trademark Butthouse.
Beautiful term.
Butthouse?
But I'll trademark both. Boathouse, Boathouse. Either way, dude.
No,
Boathouse
I don't think Butthouse is allowed.
This isn't
Hey,
ESPN.
It's not okay. I mean,
YouTube's loose.
What if we use a Spanish term?
Loose
What
butthole.
if we say culo casa? Will that slide through? Maybe they don't speak Spanish.
I don't know. It's worth a try. It's worth a try.
Man. Worth a shot. But Higgins had a great. I was worried with Higgins doing what he did Thursday night because you jumping out for 21 points, with your first player of the week. I was like, that swung the matchup 10% in your favor just by him alone. I was like, God damn it. And I was saying to myself, we're going to need a few breaks. And then next thing I know, Amon-Ra's out. And then you forget about Kamara. And I'm like, and I started believing. I started believing.
The breaks.
Yeah,
and then Josh Allen got held in check for a half. You know what I mean?
Yeah, started the game with an interception on his first drive. Didn't feel good. T. Higgins has actually outperformed Jamar Chase through 4 weeks, which feels fantastic considering he was like my 6th round pick, I think.
You're sitting pretty saucy with the number 11 and 12 fantasy receivers right now with him and Lamb.
And then you got Olave down underneath it too. He's number 15.
Mm-hmm.
Olave he looks so good. He should have even had more in that game. There was one at the end of the game that he barely missed bringing in like a 25-yard pass. Which would have given you another 3 points. And that that puts him up around 100 yards, 5 receptions and a touch. He already had a great week, but that man, he gets so much separation on his routes and he can run the deep route. That guy might be, who's going to win Rookie of the Year over him? At this point, he's got to be the favorite. He looks so good out there.
There's a few wide receivers in that conversation, but I think he's leading the pack right now.
After this week, for sure, because Drake London didn't have the greatest week, if I'm correct. So, but because Drake London's been playing good too. But anyway, to stay focused here, Allen Robinson on your bench throwing up a goose as he's been doing all year long. I think that man's washed.
He's almost dropped territory for me, especially with the other 4 receivers I got. I don't give a shit if he's on.
Everybody liked that draft pick too. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, that one."
I wanted him. I was so hype on him because, like we were saying, the 2 wide receiver sets that McVay loves to run. But just he's washed, dude. He can't get any separation. He's had 12 targets this year, and we're in week 4.
Lost Patrick.
Oh, there he is.
Oh,
that hotel Wi-Fi is going.
Yeah, we're doing our best, guys. So just stick with us. Hopefully, you can hear everything. You guys should. Are you guys recording as well, just in case?
No permission to record. No.
Oh,
it's got to be set.
How do I do that? How do we do it?
We're gonna have to edit this part out too.
I don't think that's gonna happen though.
Nah, we're gonna leave it in. This is on brand for us. There you go. All right, just start recording, guys. So if we have to splice it, we can. No, we're keeping it real, dude. We leave it all in. People will watch us grow, and they'll be here they'll ride with us, or they'll ride against us, one way or another.
They're probably like, why do they always do their own matchups first? God damn it.
We do always do our own matchups first, but hey, whatever, dude. We're the ones making this shit, so deal with it. But are you good on your side, Jake? You got anything more to say about your team, or?
The only other thing I got to say about my team is Kyle Pitts going back to 1 catch on one of the first drives of the game, and then being used as a utility player again. I'm hoping that with Patterson being injured, that they're going to be forced to use him a little bit more, but I'm just not confident that's going to happen.
They brought that rookie in, and they started using him right away. Algier came in and got 100 yards. So I don't know, man.
Kyle Pitts is the most hyped up blocker I've ever seen in my life. What are you doing? The man can do things other people can't do. Force feed him the ball.
Exactly. It's the same thing we've been talking about all year with Christian McCaffrey. It's negligence. You have the
I got them both.
athletic tight end in football, arguably. It's him. He's one of the big four. There's a big five technically now. If you're talking about athletes, it's Waller, Kittle, Andrews, Kelsey, and Pitts. But Pitts has just been so underwhelming because of his usage. You know, I mean, he does have Mariota throwing the ball, but Mariota doesn't have a problem getting the ball to Drake London. So what's going on? You know?
Well, they lined Pitts up at halfback for at least one play I saw during the game, which was interesting. I'm looking to see if they do that some more now they lost their hybrid players. So
they got to do whatever they can to get the ball in that man's hands because he's too good not to touch the ball at least 5 times a game at a bare minimum. You know,
bare minimum. I would say 10.
1 second, guys.
Okay. You got anything to say about Patrick's team? What do you think about his little lineup there? Not really doing.
He got bailed out by Josh Jacobs, who's not going to do that again. That's what I got to say.
Yeah, and he got 49 points between Josh Jacobs and Eagles defense.
Yeah,
I could have easily won this game without
two of
my best players in my lineup.
You're right. You really bit the bag and stepped out the door, and you let this man come get you.
And hey, man,
that mistake again.
Everybody in the league should be cheering me on because any type of wins we can take off Jake's team is going to be a bonus because it's going to be hard to beat this man in the playoffs.
I think that's real. I think that's true.
That's what it is, man. Like, you got the best team. If we're talking about on paper, you got the best team.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and Kamara, we'll see, dude. If Kamara keeps doing what Kamara's doing, that's going to make your road a little tougher, but you're so good at wide receiver. And you got Rashad Penny. Who's going to be fun.
And I'm hoping Brian Robinson becomes a part of the offense because I'm watching the Cowboys Commanders game, and Gibson and McKissick just don't have it. They just don't.
But Rivera's going to make it a 3-headed monster, and none of them are going to be valuable. Yep. That's exactly what's going to happen.
It's true.
You got to hope you got to hope one of those guys fumbles like egregiously a couple of times. You know,
it's true.
Also, you have to consider that they played Philadelphia and Dallas like back-to-back weeks, and those are two of the probably top 5 defenses in the league right now. And now they're gonna play those two again because they're in the division, so that sucks for them. But it's not exactly the truth.
Yeah.
You want to know something nasty I saw? Dallas is like this year, they're like 3rd all time through the first 4 weeks for the amount of pressures on the quarterback. They've pressured the quarterback 67 times in 4 weeks, which is insane.
That's disgusting.
And that's usually with 4. They're not even bringing anybody. They're winning with their front 4 like every play.
Who DeMarcus Lawrence looks like something medically is going his way because he looked 3 years younger last week.
On a good guy,
Yeah, I think he did. I think he found a good guy.
We hear about him getting suspended next year. We'll know why. But hey,
what? Like, Super Bowl, let it ride.
He's on that Von Miller plan, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he called Von up. He goes, "Hey, man, you look good. What's going on?"
Probably. I mean, hey, these guys talk to each other, dude.
Yeah,
they for sure do. But the thing I was gonna say was and then specifically in their game against Washington, they had a 68% pass rush win rate. So that means every time they lined up to rush the passer on a passing play, 68% of the time, somebody on that D-line was winning their block, like, and getting to the quarterback, which is insane. You know what I mean?
Over half. Like, if you get 50%, you're over the moon.
Oh, yeah. 68%, I think, is the highest mark of any team this entire year. Higher than what the Bills did to Tannehill.
They seem like they've regressed on turnovers because they had to, statistically.
You have to.
But they've gotten better at the in-between, the little small things, it looks like. Kind of rounded out.
Well, how many times has Trayvon Diggs finger-tipped one, too?
I know, he finally got one. He finally got one.
He got 2.
He got one last week at the end of the game, too, to seal it,
He got one last week at the end of the game to seal it. He got one before half. Against the Commanders, so he's got 2 now, but there was 3 other ones that were in his hands.
So close, one that was egregious, went right through his hands. I remember we watched that one.
It's true.
But he was catching all those
he
before,
good.
so
He good.
All right.
I've
Well,
got nothing else to say about this lineup unless you want to talk about your team some more.
yeah. Also, like it's giving me the 10-minute warning again, so I don't know what that's about. If we have to do a few of these and splice them, we're just gonna do that this time. But so we'll figure it out. My team, or we'll just make like 2 or 3 videos. But anyway, so a little inside podcast in there for you folks. So my team, Kyler Murray did some Kyler Murray things, was running the ball around, ran a touchdown in, threw an absolute dot to Marquise Brown for a long touchdown. And I think he threw one to Zach Ertz. I was like, he basically matched. Yeah, and then he basically matched Josh Allen, and then he lost me. He lost me a half point. Debo for a touchdown, baby. Let's go. There we go. That seals that matchup.
I'll lock that up.
Yeah.
Dang.
57-yarder too. Let's
Patrick,
go, Debo.
you are like 8 seconds ahead of me. And so like I hear Debo touchdown, baby.
Yeah.
As the throw's getting released, I'm like, all right.
Guess he's going the distance.
I guess he's going.
That oddly makes me feel better because I did not want to lose by 0.06.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is like, so Kyler, I was worried, like, because our matchup was coming down to the wire, and Kyler's sitting here kneeling. He's losing me. He lost me like a half point on kneel down. So I was like, if I lose by a half point, I would be so pissed.
I remember
Cliff Kingsbury and threatened to burn his house down, dude.
Before this week, you were talking all kind of big game. Obviously, we know what happened with Tua, tragic circumstances, but you were talking about dealing Kyler because you thought Tua was going to outperform Kyler on the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's low, Cody.
But you didn't put him in your lineup this week.
I thought you were doing the Tua hands again.
What? No, it's my neck. It just kind of hurts. It seizes me up a little bit.
Interesting. Sure, yeah. Should get you looked at by that neurological consultant. Maybe we'll put you right back in the game. But what were you saying, Jake? I'm sorry, I was distracted by Mr. Cody there.
No worries. I'm just saying that you were talking all kinds of big game about Tua outperforming Kyler, but was that just talk? Because you didn't even put him in your lineup this week.
Well, I didn't put him in the lineup this week because he was playing Kyler's playing Carolina. I thought Kyler was going to play better this week. And I also just was not that confident in Tua this week because I thought what was going to happen was exactly what happened. Because he should not have been playing this week. His back was injured.
You thought that was going to happen?
I didn't think he was going to get
thought
concussed.
He should have missed some time.
I thought he shouldn't have played, though, because he was limited all week, and he shouldn't have been out there on a short week. No.
I'm glad that guy lost his job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody needed to, you know? Well, and now they're going after the Bucks because of Cameron Brate. I don't know if you saw that because they let him back in the game, too. After he got absolutely like lit up, and then he got diagnosed with concussion at halftime, but he got 2 more targets after he got
really
smacked. Yeah, he got thrown the ball 2 more times after.
Man, you would think with this CTE thing that's gone down in the last like 4 years that they would be tiptoeing the fuck out around these guys. Like, what are they doing?
They're in trouble, man. They're gonna. This is not a good look for their PR, man. It's gonna be a story for the next month, probably now, if not longer. Oh, he threw an interception. No. All right,
Amazon, like just showing like that reaction afterwards over and over again too. Which I know, hey, Amazon's going for numbers. You know, they got their own agenda, but like they got a partnership with the NFL now, and that was not good to see. Like I was at work, I was in the bar, and I'm like, guys, you got to take this off the screen.
Yeah,
I'm trying to serve people cheeseburgers here. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, man, I was so happy to hear that he was okay, man, because I figured after I started thinking about it, I was like, that's what happens.
They put him on the plane back to Miami that night.
I know. So he was fine, which, I mean, they have team doctors on the plane. They have doctors on the plane. They have medical equipment, you know. So it's not like they're putting him on like fucking Spirit Airlines and sending him home. You know what I mean? But like,
yeah, but I mean the health concerns and the change in pressure.
Yeah,
when you go up in the air like that. Like they don't let they discourage pregnant women from flying. Even, you know what I mean?
It's
Yeah.
true. I just don't know why they're rushing that around. It
Put
just
him on a
seems
bus
weird.
or leave him in Cincinnati for 3 days.
Yeah,
You know he's
they
not
have
playing.
hospitals there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a little weird. You're not wrong about that. But to rein it back in here, Kyler Murray matching Josh Allen, that's a win for me. So I'll be honest, I thought I was gonna make out with another 10-point McCaffrey week because he didn't do shit until he caught that big touchdown at the end of the game.
Yeah. Was a leading
AJ
receiver
Dillon,
for the Panthers.
yeah, I mean, they got Baker Mayfield just looks horrendous. Like
He
he
looks
can't
so
do
bad.
anything. Like Stephen A. Smith was going after him today too. Like
He deserves it. He looks terrible.
Dude, Geno Smith looks like a Pro Bowler compared to him. Like, come on, man.
Yep, you're right. He has digressed.
He has something going on in his head. Yeah. He's digressed and regressed.
Yeah.
Let me digress, but that man has regressed.
I regress.
AJ Dillon, okay, I like the work that AJ Dillon's getting. It's just Aaron Jones is getting the explosive.
What's the Wi-Fi, y'all?
Say what?
Nothing.
Oh,
nothing.
Wi-Fi's
Everything is
pausing.
exactly how it should be.
Pausing up.
This
Yeah.
episode's going to be hard to watch.
It might be.
It's hard to participate in.
Hey, the thing is, folks, we're doing it. So that's what it is.
Really?
It'll be better, okay, when we get more stationary. It's just what it is. All right. We got some grown
doing
kids.
it and doing it and doing it.
Speaking of doing it, we need to move on from our second matchup that we've talked about now.
Hey, let me talk about Josh Jacobs actually crushing because he looked great. All right. I don't need to say much more, but he looked great. A lot of big runs, a lot of missed tackles.
He'll never do that again.
Oh, he will. Look. Okay, the Raiders have not won a game.
He's going to do 32 points again?
Not 32 points, but he could be doing.
So he's never going to do it again?
Hey, the moment he does 33, I'm calling you up.
You won't have to because we're going to do a weekly podcast.
Yeah.
I'm calling him, and I'm doing the podcast.
I mean, depending on your internet, I suppose.
That's right.
I would put $40 on the fact. No, you know what? I'll put $32 on the fact that he's not going to do that again.
I'm not making that bet because
you know why?
Very unlikely. Yeah, because it's unlikely. I know. I mean, it's unlikely for any running back to score 32. You know what I mean? Although this week a lot of them at big games, but Cortland Sutton, I'm not mad about the trade we made. It's been fairly even, slight favor to CD, but like they've both been doing work.
Yeah.
Debo's having a good game here. He's up to 16 already. Mark Andrews didn't have a good week, but Mark Andrews is great. It just didn't work. He had a touchdown get called back that makes his week look a lot better. Mark Ingram, the process was right. The Vikings got a bad run defense. The process was right. Mark Ingram got banged up right when they were down by the goal line. They bring in Latavius Murray.
Mark Ingram sucks. Like, if Kamara doesn't play, I'm not putting Ingram in my lineup any week because he gets the ball and he just looks so pedestrian.
He's old as shit, But the Vikings,
for whatever reason, that is the case.
The Vikings got a bad run defense, so I figured he was going to be able to get me 10 points, and I didn't think Ramondre was going to get more than that. I mean, he's ridiculous. But Philly, that's the defensive pickup of the year, man. Philly's defense looks insane. I love having those guys in my defense slot. But
they've gotten a combined, what is it? Let me do some math. 47 points to the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, man. It's nice. That makes your team a lot more tough to beat when your defense putting up points like that.
Absolutely.
The only other thing I gotta say is Mr. Dobbs is coming on in Green Bay, folks. I was telling Cody, he had a 50-yard bomb to seal that game. Was coming down with it, caught it. He didn't drop it.
Say it quick. You got 20 seconds.
Yeah, he was coming down. He's coming down with it. And he hit the ground and he didn't complete the catch, but he just completely torched the guy. And then he had a back shoulder catch that looked real nice too. So all I'm saying is that he's gonna be good.
Dropped that ball.
Dropped it.
He did.
Anyway,
he dropped it.
This will be a good time. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Okay. So here we are. We're back here. Third matchup. Slow but sure, chugging along here. Do you guys want to do Trish and Dave? That's the one I got
Yes.
next. Okay.
Yes.
So
Dave
this
with
is the Geno Smith, but yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say Dave with the shameless business plug. I love it. Eat more hot dogs is the new team. It goes from the fart suckers, not the, but the fart suckers, to eat more hot dogs.
lot of mouth things going on with Dave's teams lately. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's a mouth man.
He's a mouth man. He's a mouthy man. It's fitting. You know what I'm saying?
The mouth man. Well, the mouth man's going to 2-2, right in the middle of the pack.
I know, man. And you know what? If I was Dave, I'd be real happy about that. And you know what? Like
he is.
Yeah, and we'll hear about it. We'll hear about it. You know, I'm just glad that the Bears have stopped winning, so we can stop hearing about that nonsense. I mean, for God's sakes.
No kidding.
Him talking like the Bears had any chance of being like a realistic contender this year was infuriating.
Dave's
like,
argument going into last season, if I remember right, he said, all right, hear me. Either we're going to win the Super Bowl this year or we're going to do so bad that we fire our head coach halfway through the year. Those were the two options.
There's no middle ground. There's no just like, muddling through for the next 10 years, which is what's going to happen in Chicago. But,
Yeah.
They've been meddling through.
They're worse than the Lions. Maybe not. But they are worse than the Lions.
They are worse than the Lions.
And they don't play with any heart, Cody.
They don't play with any heart, dude.
Did we get that on this one?
Oh, we got it on here. We're in here. We're in here.
Damn.
The Lions are gonna.
I'd hate if we lost that.
I know you would.
Well, and then their rookie finally saw some action. Fields a punt. First action he's seen all year because he's been bagged up. That Velus Jones guy that Austin was so high on. Fields a punt, immediately fumbles it. It's it's just not going well in Chicago.
Back to Todd's team, the Leonard Fournette, he put up 15 points, but he had -3 rushing yards. What a weird stat line that was.
You were on Todd, and we were talking about Trish and Dave, sir.
I don't know why I said Todd. I meant to say Dave.
Because he does have Leonard Fournette.
He does have Leonard Fournette. Okay, my bad.
All these old white guys look alike.
That's all these. Oh man. So yeah, dude. -3 rushing yards for Lenny.
Only 3 carries.
They were giving the ball to Rashad White because Lenny, I don't know if you guys heard about it midweek. Lenny came out and said, "Hey y'all, I would like to play for a few more years. So I can't carry the ball 84 times."
So they went, all right, here's 3.
Well, they gave it more to Rashad White, which is why I want some money. So, hey, we're not mad at it. You know what I mean?
Enter Patrick's side gig plug.
Hey, come on, man. Yeah. You know what? We're happy about it. But
let's plug all the gigs. Let's do it.
Plug it all, dude. Plug. We're plugging over here. But
plug it in.
Nice.
Man, this Popeyes commercial over here is turning my entire face orange. Fuck.
At least you don't have this light dark action going on that I got going here. But that game last night, what a game though. Shootout. That was a fun game to watch. Patty doing Patty things. Brady looked good too. The offenses were cooking. Mm-hmm. It was impressive what the Chiefs did to that defense, man. Put 41 points up on them.
Easy to sleep on him after losing his number one receiver and whatever arguing points we've all heard. But he's still, I think, the number 2 quarterback in the league behind Josh Allen, if not number 1. The throws the guy makes. He's just the only one that does it.
Him and Andy Reid just get it done, man.
Andy Reid is so good.
That play call where Patrick's like pointing over here or whatever, and he's like, "No, you got to get that guy." And then they motion the tight end and snap the ball on the goal line and run it in. Genius.
Yeah.
Brilliant play. And then the little basketball, schoolyard play where he's running around, hits the spin move and just pops it over the top of the defense to Allaire for that other touchdown. Like, it's vintage Patty Mahomes right there.
I
Is
think
he old
But,
enough
I think
for there to
the
be
Chiefs
vintage?
were dead set on proving that they were still the best team in the division with all the other moves all the other teams made.
they also wanted that one in Tampa because they got smacked in the Super Bowl, and that wasn't that long ago. So they came out for blood in this
It
game.
feels like a long time ago, but
It's like what, 2 years? It's 2
yeah,
years
yeah,
ago.
it wasn't it was not last year's Super Bowl, but the one before.
And
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
the years since COVID just feel a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. It's true. Khalil
Yeah.
Herbert had kind of a blah day for Dave. Um, Cup's off to a good start. He needs to get in the end zone, or not. I mean, he's got 9 points on volume alone, so
Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
doing
he's got
fine.
he's got it locked up, so he's all right.
Yeah,
I'm surprised that after Dave trades away Kyle Pitts, and he still benches Zach Ertz. It didn't make a big difference because Tunyon got one touchdown, but like, what the hell is he doing with that?
a lot of people have been talking. Tunyon is coming on. If you look at his underlying numbers, he's been running. He's had more snaps, more routes run every week since the start of the year, and he's starting to slowly build up some targets. So there is an argument to be made in the right matchup that Tunyon would be a better play than Ertz, but
If I was
most weeks
hearing
it's
that
going to be
argument
Ertz.
from anybody other than a Packers fan, I would give more credence to it. But like Zach Ertz is the number 4 tight end on the season in a cesspool of shitty tight ends. So like,
Yeah, I mean, you're
Yeah.
not wrong. I'm just saying, in defense of Dave playing him, that like there has been other people outside of me talking up Tunyon in the last week or two. That he's coming on and he looks healthy after the injury he had last year. So
And yet it was still the wrong decision.
it was not by much, but it was.
not by much, not enough to be a deal breaker, but could have been. He got 29 points between his kick and his defense. Dave's got a much better team than he had last year, obviously, and it's decent. It's pretty decent.
He could be. Yeah, I mean, he's got a dangerous team. His team could put up 130 points. He's done that a few times this year. So
Yeah, he is.
it's Mike Evans and Cooper Kupp is what's doing it. Really, it's Mike Evans and Cooper Kupp have been balling out this year. Mike Evans obviously missed a week with a suspension, but he wasn't playing good in that game anyway. But other than that, he's been playing very well.
Yeah, he had 10 targets last night too, 2 touchdowns, 8 catches. Finally eclipsed the triple-digit receiving yard mark.
Every single one of the playmakers on either side of the ball yesterday, like, balled out. Clyde Edwards had a good game. Kelsey had a good game. Mike Evans had a good game. Chris Godwin looked fine in his return to action. You know what I mean? Like, Lenny did good. The backup running back did good. Like, the guys who you would expect, other than the Rashad White doing what he did, like, the guys who you would expect to do well did well yesterday. So played out to Dave's favor. Waddle had a down game, obviously, but he had to deal with Teddy in the second half. So, and Cincinnati played good defense that game. They were coming for him. So, I don't know what else to say about Dave's team. Do you want to talk about Trish?
Yeah, can we talk about Geno Smith, QB9
Good
on the
Lord,
year?
dude.
On the year, who saw
Man.
that coming?
He's good, man. He has improved. The decisions I see him making on the field this year versus when I've seen him in the past, and he showed a few signs of it. Oh, we lost Cody.
Yeah.
He'll jump back in hopefully. So we'll just continue on here
His
for a second.
decision making, you were saying.
Yeah, his decision making. He showed signs of it last year. But like at the end of the year, he had a few good games where he was connecting with DK Metcalf. And he had a few good games with him. And like, so I had an idea that maybe he had improved. Oh, there he is. Okay, so we got Cody coming back in. But man,
his entire career has been the just the upside potential for the guy because he's a leader. He's never made like terrible decisions necessarily, but it's just
he had some times in
sometimes
New
he
York.
has. But it just always feels like it doesn't quite click for him for whatever reason. Then he goes right back to being a backup. So we'll see in 3 or 4 weeks how we're talking about him. But through 4 weeks, he's definitely exceeded everybody's expectations.
He definitely ain't losing his job to Drew Lock. He might lose his job to Bryce Young next year.
No, he's not going to lose his job this year. But I just think maybe his performance is going to go down. Don't expect 32 points from him, even though he does look better.
No, but he's a fine streamer. a hell of a better streamer than Trevor Lawrence was this week. He's a better streamer than Baker Mayfield. A lot of other
It's
guys.
true, but he did have this week 2 game where he only put up 6 points. So he does have a couple weeks I see where he's gonna crap the bed too. So because 6 points in your quarterback spot will lose you a week.
Hey, there it is. We're back. A lot of technical difficulties on this one, folks. So just bear with us. We'll get it figured out.
Yeah, this one's been rough.
All right, we're just talking about Geno Smith and touching
anyway.
on Trish's half of the matchup. Have you got any notes that you would like to
add? Trish. Snaking Gerald Everett into some action, getting goodness out of Geno Smith. I don't know what she could have done. I mean, putting Clyde Edwards in there.
Well, that's the storyline of Trish's team all season, right?
Too much depth.
She's got too many running backs.
When you got that much depth that are in the same range of talent, you have to make the right decision every week. And when it comes to fantasy football, there's a fair amount of luck that goes into that.
That's true.
I would stop betting on Gibson because his honeymoon era at the beginning of the season, I think, is over.
Yeah, I don't know why Clyde's not in that lineup. I like him so much.
He's been playing great, and he's necessary in that offense like he hasn't been his entire career. And
yeah, I mean,
it's
like Andy Reid finally figured out the scat back.
The other thing, right, he finally figured it out, right? He's never had one of those before, but
he invented the position.
Yeah. The thing I was gonna say too, though, he looks better running the ball as well this year, and the reason for that is their offensive line has improved this year. Joe Thuney at guard looks excellent. He looks so good, making blocks, kicking guys out. Their offensive line has improved a lot. So I think that has a lot to do with it as well. The thing I was going to say, sneaky little call here on sneaky call about Mr. Mixon. Joe Mixon is getting an insane amount of volume. So not to be giving advice to the rest of the league, but I guess that's what we're here for. Wouldn't be a bad idea to stash Chris Evans because I don't know a running back in the last 3 years that has held up under that amount of volume. That man's touching the ball 30 times a week. Okay? He ain't going to last the whole year. So I'm just saying.
While you're talking about that matchup, this is a tangent, but I got to make a note of them white Bengal Tiger helmets. Those were,
oh, my God. Finally. We finally got it.
Yeah.
Finally got it.
They were so sharp. I know they won't, but I want to play with those every week.
We've been talking about since the Color Rush jerseys came out, and they had that stupid fucking rule about alternate helmets because apparently having a different paint job on a helmet meant more CTE to some people. I don't know. But like they did. They said we're not doing alternate helmets anymore until we figure out what we're doing to people, but we're going to hire doctors that aren't real. I don't know what that was about, but we finally got the white Tiger Bengal unis, and they were smexy.
Yeah, they were something else.
Mm-hmm.
Well done.
Clean. I would get a Bengals jersey in white just to have that jersey,
just so I could buy that helmet and then wear it in like civilian society. I would do it.
Yeah, dude, just headbutt people with that white helmet. White Tiger, just headbutt people.
I would.
White Tiger.
You'd be the white tiger killer or whatever. That'd be your name. No, what was I saying? So her team did solid, like we said. She just made the wrong call on Clyde. If she makes the right call on Clyde, she wins.
Yeah.
Yep.
So most likely, he still got Cooper Kupp going, but there's a pretty good chance. Pretty good chance.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, she just has so much depth there. Overall, I really like Trish's team.
She just got to make better decisions.
The better decisions. I'm looking at the standings. Before this week, Trish had the least amount of points of any team in the league, which is surprising to me. I would not have.
That is surprising.
It is.
Is she just continuing to make the wrong call? Is that what it is?
Well, she won. She got a W the first week without scoring 100 points because that was the one that came down to the 0.58. And then this week she made the wrong call on Clyde. I think that it happened last week too. One of the last two weeks. Yeah.
I played her last week, and I'm pretty sure I remember her missing a few last week too. But that's the problem when you have 6 startable running backs.
Absolutely.
You know, like it's infuriating. Like it's a nice position to be in because like you're gonna have depth, but it's also infuriating to try to figure out who to play.
It does seem to hurt more when you look at your bench and you're like, oh, I could have won this week.
And you're gonna feel that almost every week with that kind of team.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey Trish, get it figured out.
Well, I know somebody who needs some running backs.
Yeah, she said that's the reason she drafted like that was to have the trade potential and the depth. So she's got the depth. It's time to
right up until I tried to trade with her a couple weeks ago, and she straight up told me, "I like my team. I'm not moving anybody."
Was that after she won week 1?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
She's 0-2 the last 2 weeks, so it might be opening up the old floodgates on the trades there, maybe. But we'll see.
We'll
see.
But should we move on to the next one?
Yeah, let's go to the high score of the week, Mr. Brandt beating up on Average Jakes.
His team is either like he's got like the glass cannon team. His team will either completely bury you or they will implode, and it really comes down to how Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson are playing.
36 points from Hawkins sauce.
Yeah, that ain't happening every week.
It's not.
But he got
That's
it though.
That's going to happen every season. That's wow.
That
was really good. That was
tight end.
That was really wide.
That's Travis Kelce. That's Mark Andrews type numbers. And even for them, that's a nuts week. You know,
it is.
So Justin Jefferson getting a rushing touchdown. You like to see that. Saquon looked amazing running the ball against Chicago. I mean, I think he touched the ball 35 times in that game. 35.
I feel so bad for Saquon Barkley being drafted by the New York Giants because they're just going to waste his very short career.
You don't feel bad about it.
Wait, you mean those Giants?
I feel bad for him. Those Giants are what?
Tiebreak away from second place in your division out there?
Only because there hasn't been more games played yet.
Hey man,
they've beat the Bears. They've beat the Titans. And who did they beat week 1?
They beat the Titans, the Bears, and Carolina. And then they lost to Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah, so they beat mediocre teams.
They beat Justin Fields, Baker Mayfield, and Tannehill. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're going to beat Wentz twice for sure. I mean,
I don't know about that.
It's going to be a close game, but they definitely could.
I don't think they beat them twice.
I think the Commanders might even sweep them, but I think they definitely get at least one.
If I had to pick one of those teams to win both of the games, I'd pick the Commanders first.
Same.
We watched them play Dallas, all three of us did, and you know as well as I do that they played Dallas pretty tough. And then we all were confident Dallas was going to win that game because of their defense in the end. Like,
I don't feel like we had the same opinion on that game at all.
They played them. That game was close until the fourth quarter.
We don't feel
That's not what I'm arguing. I'm arguing the fact that you're like pretending that was like the best the Cowboys had. Their backup quarterback won.
Of course, it's not the best that they had, but it's the team they played, and they lined up against them, and they played solid. Which for the New York Giants this year, again, it's the same argument I've been making about a lot of teams.
In New York, couldn't beat a backup quarterback.
If you told me, if I was Brian Dable, okay, and you told me my team was going to be 3-1 after week 4.
You said this last time too. Like, cool. They're excited about where they're at, but
my argument would be like, well, we better be because we're going to be playing fucking Baker Mayfield, Justin Fields, and Ryan Tannehill.
All they got to do is get to like 9 wins, and they could sneak into the playoffs.
They're not gonna.
They won't.
We'll see.
If they did, they would get bounced so hard out of that wild card spot.
I think Brian Dable's a good coach, and I think there's going to continue to be games that he wins.
I don't know why we've got a fucking NFC East fanboy out here.
Because I got to be the voice of reason against all your
It's not reason.
The Eagles are great. They're winning the division. Cowboys are lucky they got a great backup to come in.
By the way, they only beat the Bears by 8. They only beat the Panthers by 3, and they only beat the Titans by 1. They are a touchdown or 2 away from being 0-4, 1-3, and everybody's talking about Danny Dimes losing a starting job. So like, easy.
Danny Dimes is not throwing the ball well, but he's got nobody to throw the ball to. His whole Sterling Shepard gone for the year. Tony out. Wan'Dale Robinson out. Kenny Galladay talking about getting traded. Okay,
Kenny
he's throwing the ball to Richie
James. Kenny Galladay is the largest cap hit of any wide receiver this season.
What a mistake! They hate him.
They
They do
do.
not. They don't. They're putting Richie James on the field before Kenny Galladay. You know what I mean? Like a perennial third stringer in San Francisco. Richie James is starting slot
Yeah.
wide receiver.
But hey, let's talk about how good the Giants are.
Hey, they're great. Anyway, moving on. So, Brandt's team did great. Burrow had a little bit of a bounce back week. Solid job. Made the right call there. Did not get anything on his bench. A whole bunch of gooses on the bench.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys didn't play though.
Well, he's putting up 153, possibly 160 this week without DeAndre Swift, with Elijah Mitchell on IR. Like he's definitely got. That's the kind of team that you feel really good about having in fantasy football. You don't have to win every week because, like, when you get to the playoffs, you know how it goes. Get hot at the right time, win a couple games at the end of the season. It doesn't matter if you go 10-3, whatever your fucking record is the regular season. If you don't have that explosive potential, you get bounced anyway. And Brandt's got some explosiveness.
Absolutely does. And that's what it's about. You got to have upside. You got to have upside for the playoffs because
so
otherwise,
does Jake. We've seen average Jake's team go off like that too. He's got some potential. Less now that Patterson's out for the year, but that hurts a lot.
And he had a good week this week. I mean, he's probably going to end up by the end of this game at 120. I mean, I could see Kittle getting another 5 points,
Yeah.
Lamar had I don't know. Can we talk about the implosion that Baltimore had?
Can somebody tell me why 4th and 1 on the 1 yard line to take a lead? They're not only going for it, which I can understand on the 1 yard line, whatever. You're going against an offense, you want the 7 points. Why are you passing the ball?
Yeah, they don't have a great Baltimore's offensive line's a little bit banged up, so that's part of it.
Care. But it's their whole game plan is running the ball.
Well, and they had having success the whole game doing it. J.K. Dobbins had 2 touchdowns. Like, I know he caught one, but he ran one in easily earlier in the game too. You know what I mean? And Justice Hill was having success. Like, run the ball, man. That's your identity. I don't know. I think Harbaugh is going to go back and look. He's going to be watching that game over and over this week, and he's going to be throwing up over and over again. They had the best team in the NFL, arguably, in my opinion, dead to rights.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
but the Bills are still the best team, right? They're banged up on defense. They're still, to me, because of who they have playing quarterback. Josh Allen greater sign Jalen Hurts, obviously.
Yeah, I think they played maybe their best competition in the AFC minus the Chiefs in back-to-back weeks. And I say that with Tua playing, obviously. Him missing some time really takes Miami out of that equation. But, like, in Miami, they needed to get one away from Buffalo, and they did. So that division is going to be fun going forward. I hope they can survive some Teddy Bridgewater for however long it takes to get Tua back out there.
They beat Buffalo in Miami, right? So we're going to get like a cold weather game, Miami, Buffalo. That's going to be fun. I hope Tua's back for that.
I think Buffalo kills them if they play in cold weather. I think that the fact that they had to bring them all the way down, it said feels like 99 degrees in Miami when they were playing. And those Buffalo guys just weren't ready for that. It's a different kind of thing.
I don't think anybody was ready for that. The Miami guys were dying at the end of the game too.
I don't think any of those guys that aren't from Miami are having a good time either. Like,
but one of the teams practices every week
indoors.
They live there, man. You don't think they experience it outside of their fucking facility?
No, they don't. They
have an underground tunnel straight to their house.
They do not practice outdoors in fucking Miami.
Not practice, you ding dong, your everyday life. Yeah. You live in a humid climate. It hits you everywhere. It's not like you show up to work, it's like, oh, it's humid right now. You step outside of work, it's like, oh, it's 75 degrees now.
I got to side with Jake on this one. They are going to be a little bit more acclimatized to it. But the counterpoint to that is Tyreek Hill has played so many cold weather games when he was with Kansas City. Like, he's going to be fine. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. And I mean, some of I guess you could say like the running backs maybe, but Raheem Mostert's been in a ton of cold weather games too. Like, they're NFL. Like, they all have played cold weather games. Like, if you've been in the NFL for 3 years, you've played a cold weather game,
Yeah, but it's not a matter of having the experience as much as it is about
being comfortable.
Like, literally driving to the stadium, it makes all the difference.
It's like when they talk about Cody. It's like when they talk about like Mile High City, Denver, playing at the high altitude. It's not like the altitude's only there while you're playing.
That actually isn't the same argument, because when they're practicing in Denver, they still deal with those conditions.
Same altitude everywhere.
Yeah.
Unless they're pressurizing their
So that
It's
argument is
not
completely
exactly the
different.
same, but it's still a similar argument.
I completely disagree.
I think you're wrong, so here we are.
Hey, there we go. It's good content, boys. Nice. Do we have anything else to say about Brandt's team? Should we? I want to talk a little bit more about Jake's.
I want to talk about Jake's team.
Yeah,
Derrick Henry, man, had himself a week finally.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a
2 weeks in a row.
10-minute timer.
2 weeks in a row.
Again.
Derrick Henry had a killer week last week too. He put up even more points last week than he did this week.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Go ahead, Cody.
I was just like, Jake's gonna be losing out on that number 5 overall running back Cordell Patterson moving forward. But like, what sucks about that is he's gonna be 2-2, putting up like decent numbers, and I'm worried about him going forward. If Lamar Jackson continues on not playing Buffalo, everything is gonna be just fine. But man, you hate to drop one while you still got Cordero going.
He's got Raheem, though. Raheem can fill in that spot. Juju could fill in that spot on the right week, perhaps.
Raheem Mostert hasn't hit double digits this year. I don't think that's a good plug-in. I think it's serviceable, but he's gonna feel it.
The way they're using their running backs is so infuriating for fantasy. One guy's getting all the volume, but none of the high value touches, and the other guy's getting all the high value touches and none of the volume. So cool. Neither one of them are valuable. Great. Thanks, Miami. Appreciate it. But you're 3-1, so you're not going to change it, you know?
It looks a little bit like the Rams backfield in that sense. Not as far as like one of them doing all the work.
A lot like Detroit's backfield, too.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, because Swift gets poached. But Swift's so good, he gets his most of the time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Swift greater sign Raheem Mostert at this point in their careers by far, you know? So the thing is, to your Rams point a little bit though, Cam Akers has been like dominating the backfield in LA in terms of touches in the last few weeks. So I think he's kind of taken over that role in the last couple of weeks. And Darrell Henderson's more moved into the change of pace back. I think they were bringing Akers in slow because of the injury. You know what I mean? I think his injury was worse than Henderson's, and they didn't want him to get. You know, they need him. They need him in the playoffs, so they don't want to lose him for the. You know, they need him all year, so they can't lose him in the first 2 weeks.
And McVay's the kind of guy that's always thinking 3 steps ahead too.
Yeah. So, he's. I mean, anyway. So, we said down week Drake London. Nice to get 18 out of DK Metcalf. You know what I mean? If he can keep some type of consistency going, that'll be good for Jake's team too. Because I thought that was going to be a bust pick because of how bad Seattle's offensive line is. But you know, in the right matchup, DK is going to be just fine. It looks like so.
Yeah. So I thought coming into the season after the draft that I had the best running back duo. Obviously, that's not the case, and I think that Average Jake has the best running back tandem.
Swamp ass Jake is the one with the running back.
Swamp ass Jake, bring it back. Nice. Yeah. We like it. Should we move to the next one for the last 7 minutes?
Let's try and get in 7 minutes, huh?
We can do that. We can burn through it. Austin had a horrendous week. I definitely have been the winner of that trade so far. Mike Thomas is injured. Dalvin Cook ain't doing shit.
So I thought we might hear about that.
Hey, man, like – I was worried about it because, like, Dalvin has the potential to be the number 1 running back any single week, but they are not using him that way.
No.
Like, he's losing volume to Madison. He's banged up, so they're pitch counting him even more now. You know what I mean? And it was, you know, they're playing New Orleans. New Orleans is a good run defense, but it's Dalvin freaking Cook, man.
Yeah, you did.
Where are the touchdowns?
You getting out from underneath? Go ahead.
I was gonna say he did have one play I saw where he had just a gaping hole in the middle, and he got shoelace tackled. It could have been a 50-yard touchdown, which we're talking a little bit different about him if that happens, you know.
His burst does not look quite as good though. He looks a little bit slower than he did. Just a slight bit. To me, he looks a little bit slower than he has in the past. Yeah. Like barely, but I think it's still in the open field. Like he had this one play at the end of the game, I remember, to get them in field goal range, actually, for the game-winning field goal. Which how about the double doink at the end of that game? Mr. Lutz almost sinking 260-yarders. That was nuts.
Yeah, that would have been something.
But
The fans in London got an interesting end to that one.
they had a great time. That's I don't for all the bad PR the NFL's gotten, they got a good PR with that game because that was entertaining.
Well, because they stopped sending people like the Jaguars to do the London game.
But what I was trying to say was he had this carry on the sideline where literally he jukes the guy just jukes him out of his shoes, cuts up the sideline, looks like he's going to go out of bounds, cuts back in around the guy, and then jukes out of bounds. He made like 3 guys miss and gained another 10 yards. So like, yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, he's still Dalvin Cook, but to me, like, the upside has not been there through the first.
You got out from underneath
like
that missed first-round draft pick, thanks to Austin.
Because they're pass happy.
Yeah, the offensive coordinator definitely steered it more towards Kirk Cousins, and he's doing what he always does, show some potential and just not really be the guy. I don't like the Vikings offense as much as I did after week 1 and week 2.
They just need a quarterback who makes better decisions. They have so many weapons. They have 3 solid wide receivers. KJ Osborne is as good a wide receiver 3 as they come. Mm-hmm. He's very capable. Irv Smith is a good tight end. You have 2 great running backs. Okay? Like, what are you doing, man? You should be a prolific offense. You have arguably, between him and Cooper Kupp, the best pass catcher in the NFL. Okay. Yep. Like, and you're putting up, you know what I mean? I mean, they put up 28 this week, sure, but like, you should be in the 30s every week, man, with that offense, Definitely. Like, and they're just not doing that. And they're almost dropping games to the Lions. Like, and they're almost losing a game to the Andy Dalton Saints and the Mark Ingram Saints. Like, what are we doing, man? They almost dropped that game. They were missing their starting quarterback. They were missing Mike Thomas, and they were missing Alvin Kamara, and they still almost lost to him.
That would have been embarrassing.
Yeah, man.
A little bit of that has to be London, right? And I'm not like putting that on the city of London. I just mean like that travel. We haven't seen like 2 teams be their true selves in any of those London matchup games. You know what I mean? Like, those games are always a little wonky.
Well, yeah, it's hard to get adjusted.
Yeah,
it's true. You're not wrong. Marquise Brown had a good week. Patty Mahomes doing Patty Mahomes things. 23 points, like, for the game that he had, you would have thought that would have been higher, but like, you'll take 23 points. But the interception he threw at the end brought it down a little bit. It's just a bad throw. It's like his only bad throw of the game, really. But didn't get much out of Jarvis Landry. Didn't get much out of Darren Waller. What are you saying?
Not much. Just trying to flash back to the time post-draft where the ESPN rankings had Austin picked as the number 1 team, and nobody could understand why.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed a little strange.
Well, we're starting to see where they were wrong. Yeah.
I'm looking at his team.
I mean, he's getting some good production out of Devin Singletary.
Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of parity in the league, though. I mean, as much as we're talking about, like, as much as we like teams otherwise, like, we're a third of the way through the regular season, and there's going to be 2 3-1 teams with Patrick and Allen, and yep. I don't really like. Sorry, Patrick. I don't really like either of those teams.
You're wrong, sir.
They're not that good. And everyone else is 2-2 awesome. Besides, like, it's Bailey true. And Erica.
And there's a lot of things that can happen in the next 8 weeks. So, like, things can flip around. Contenders can come out of nowhere. So I'm excited for the rest of the season because it's really still anybody's game.
There's a ton of competition right now, especially like in this place that we are. It's looking good.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody's team can beat except for Bailey. Bailey's got a bad team. Everybody else is pretty equal, though.
I think Bailey's gonna have to come back from Wyoming to put on that hot dog suit next year.
Yeah, she headed straight for the toilet bowl.
Yeah, she got to figure that out. I mean, you win just like one of those correct weeks in the losing ladder, though, and you get to avoid it.
It's true.
Yeah,
but
it's gonna
come
break
back
off again in
to
a second.
zero trades, zero acquisitions. She literally hasn't benched a player to start another player through 4 weeks, which is concerning.
Yeah, you can't do that. So we're gonna have a break here again, and then
Yeah, we
we're
got
gonna
one
start
more
another one
matchup
up.
after this.
Yep, and we got to talk about Erica's team too, and then we'll get into the last matchup, and we should be able to wrap it up. In the
Do we have to?
I mean, yeah, we do. We got big news, Jonathan Taylor, dude. Oh, did they give it to Usich and he didn't get in? No, that was Jeff Wilson.
God damn.
Give the ball to Usich.
Remember that thing we said you gotta stop
Like
out the play like 8 seconds.
Hey, relax.
God damn it, Patrick.
Hey, we're living for the bet. We're living for the bets, boys.
Not living for your friends.
Yeah. Hey, I'm living for my bottom line, sir.
Bros before bets.
Bros before bets.
I'm living for that like atrocious backlighting. How about that?
I'm living for me getting tanked on my bets today. I'm not doing great today, but 1100 yesterday covers it. But anyway, should we dig into the last three teams here?
Yeah, so
do a little
yeah.
wrap up. Do Erica's team. So Johnny Taylor is the story, right? I mean, for God's sakes, the 101 has done nothing and gets banged up. Gets banged up, but the tests were negative, and he does have a chance to play on Thursday. Apparently,
he crushed it week 1, and then has done shit since. Absolutely.
Did he really? Did he actually crush it week 1 though? Because
Yeah,
I don't remember him actually.
He had 31 carries for 161 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, he was
Houston, though.
Right, but he was a number one running
going
back.
against. But yeah, he had 25 and a half points week 1. Everybody's like, all right, cool, he's doing what he should do, and then he just disappeared.
Yeah, well, I mean, that team has disappeared. They look atrocious.
And then
they beat Kansas City.
What are you saying, Jake?
I'm just saying, sticking with the last 3 teams so we don't get strapped into random football teams for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah.
She drafted 2 quarterbacks, Justin Fields and Trey Lance. Neither one of them is on her team anymore. So she put in Trevor Lawrence, who puts up 5.66. Quarterback is killing her team.
Yet she's going to be 2-2, so she should thank her lucky stars. She's still in it. She's 2-0 the last 2 weeks.
She's got good players at positions, but there's a couple red flags.
The other thing that's working in her favor is Breece Hall and J.K. Dobbins are coming alive.
Well, Jamal Williams.
Jamal Williams is great, but Jamal Williams is going to go away, okay, because DeAndre Swift's going to come back. Maybe DeAndre Swift is banged up all year, and that would help her, but Breece Hall had like 20 touches finally, and he looked good doing it.
He's the one.
He's the dude. He looks great.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? As great as you could look playing in the Jets backfield. You know what I mean? But he's better than Michael Carter. We all knew it. It was a matter of time. Michael Carter's fine, but I mean, it's Breece Hall, dude.
It's Breece Hall time.
And then J.K. Dobbins looking healthy finally. I think he gets more healthy as the year goes on. He got a big uptick in snaps and carries. I think that's going to continue because he looked good doing it.
And she's got Tyler Algier down there too. So I think Erica's the trade target for Cody to try and find a running back.
Either her or Trish, or me. We can figure it out. I got some great running backs. Come on, man.
I'll give you Jamal Charles for Mark Andrews.
I'll do it for the legacy.
Jamal Charles.
This man. I know he did. And I was like, if I could get prime Jamal Charles, I would absolutely take that trade because he was excellent.
Yeah,
I think he's
isn't he the all-time?
Like,
no, he's not dead. He lives in Tampa with his wife.
Rest in peace.
Doesn't Jamal Charles have the all-time single best fantasy performance?
I think so. Yeah, him and Andy Reid was a beautiful. What do you call it? A beautiful.
I don't know if that was Andy Reid.
Andy Reid was his coach for a while.
I don't know if in 2013 Week 8 against the Raiders that was Andy Reid.
No, Jamal Charles was just being one of the best running backs to ever play the game. That's what that was.
Mm.
You know. But AJ Brown has been real solid for her. Al Mazar has had 2 good weeks the last 2 weeks. He is the one in Green Bay finally. And he
Finally,
looked
Alan
good.
Lazard.
He looked good doing it. Kelsey had a Kelsey week, doing big things. Not a he's the tight end too, because who's as good as Hawkinson? I mean, obviously Hawkinson's better than Kelsey. So
Clearly,
we all know it.
Yeah.
only because he's got Jared
Interesting.
Goff thrown to him.
Yeah, exactly. The GOAT himself. But although Erica would die to have Jared Goff on her team at this moment. But Isaiah McKenzie has been solid, but I think he got a concussion. Elijah Moore, interesting thing here. Zach Wilson had a good connection with Elijah Moore last year. He was the only one that he had a good connection with. So he might be coming on. Him and Corey Davis looked like they were the ones getting more of Mr. Wilson's attention over the other Wilson. The rookie Wilson is not getting the sophomore Wilson's attention. Basically is what's going on. What happened this week anyway.
Too much Wilson.
Can't go Wilson to Wilson. Never go Wilson to Wilson.
We got a Wilson on the pod. Like, it's too much Wilson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. We got a lot of Wilson going on here. Triple Willie. Anyway. Come on. It was there and I took it. All right, let's go.
It wasn't there. It wasn't.
It was there.
I
put it there.
I put it there and then I took it.
I wish you'd take it back.
I put it there and I took it, sir. So technically I did take it. And then I gave it. All right. Anyway, should we go to the next matchup and wrap this baby up?
We should.
Finally got 10 minutes left, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say wrap this patchwork of a podcast up. Anyway, I think the end product will still come out fine, but it's bad. Anyway, so Todd also a candidate for last place again this year.
Oh, you can't double it up, Todd.
I mean, good Lord, dude.
He got spooked off of Russell Wilson enough, which is totally understandable. But then it cost him the week.
Cost him the week. Yeah, and that's why you don't play Marcus Mariota over Russell Wilson, because Marcus Mariota doesn't really have much potential to do what Russell Wilson did this week, but Russell Wilson always has that potential every single week, even when they've been playing poorly.
You're right, but like Russell Wilson put up 9 points last week, and I think that was just sitting in the back of his head. You know what I mean?
I'm not blaming him. I mean, I could have seen myself doing the same thing, but at the end of the day, you got to play Russ over Mariota. You know,
you got to do it.
I think you're right. But he's going to learn that this week.
Yep. He also has been getting underwhelming performances out of what was one of my favorite wide receiver duos coming into the year.
Yep.
They have, Jamar Chase has not been doing Jamar Chase things. And apparently in Indianapolis, we love just throwing the ball to the tight ends a bajillion times and giving them all the touchdowns when we have one of the best young wide receivers in football. Why would we throw him the ball, though, And why would we throw the ball to the best running back in football? Why would we do either of those two things?
Why? Why would we?
Doesn't make much sense.
Yeah. There literally, I think there's been four or five tight end touchdowns in the last 2 weeks in Indianapolis. Mo Alley Cox had like 25 points under the radar this week.
Jeez.
Like smashed. But meanwhile, Michael Pittman getting 5 points, John Taylor getting 2.5.
It ain't good.
What is going on? And then Todd's like, Matt Ryan looks terrible. Matt Ryan threw for, and he doesn't look great, right? But he threw for 350 yards. People don't realize he threw for 350 yards in that game.
He's been doing that his whole career.
Yeah, Matt Stafford's a good quarterback. I said Matt Stafford, Matt Ryan.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. But
I'm
Matt
so
Ryan
distracted.
Is a good quarterback. That team is just in shambles. I don't understand, what's going on there. But should we talk about Allen's team and then wrap this bad boy up? I mean, the one thing I want to say is Aaron Jones looked good if he gets in the end zone. Great week out of Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones looked explosive running the ball. He looked really good. He's benefiting from not having to take all the carries. So when he comes in, man, similar to like the Zeke Tony Pollard thing. When Aaron Jones comes in, he's been electric the last few weeks.
Man, Allen has got the least scary 3-1 team I've ever seen. He's got this fucking phantom defense thing going like Patrick had last year. He's rocking like probably sixth most. No, it's not even that much. How many points Allen got coming into this week? And he's only putting together like what 109.
He had a few big weeks. He was the leading scorer after the first 2 weeks.
Out of 12 teams, he's the number 9 in points scored.
Thank you.
Yeah, he had a bad week.
And he's going to go down this week because he's not, even though he's getting a win against shit ass Todd. He's only putting together 109. Yeah,
honestly, I think right now it's between me, you, and Brant up at the top probably because we've been putting up points. I don't know who is where, but
Jake's
I know
up there. Jake's up there.
You're probably up there.
So
It's probably
coming into this week. Myself and Jake Strozzi were the 2-point leaders by about a 30-point cushion over the next person.
Well, that's going to close up.
But
yeah. But anyway, yeah. I mean, there's been some big point performances so far this year. You got to be putting up if you want to win that jersey this year. You got to be putting up 120 a week.
Yeah, the half point PPR has drastically changed things.
It's juiced it for sure, and it's fun.
It's juiced it by 30 points. I mean, that's
way more fun, man. I love seeing my team score.
Like, I mean, think about that. That's 60 receptions, right? Like if we're only considering it being half PPR, 60 receptions a week is what it's done. That's crazy. Is there 60 receptions on these lineups a week?
Well, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions. You know what I mean? I don't think it's an average of 60, but it's probably more like an average of 40 a week. You know, out of 6 guys, that's 5 or 6 catches per player.
I think 30 points is a little bit of a stretch. I think it's a little bit closer to 20 because like the last years, if you put up 90, it's a pretty good week. If you put up 100, you're feeling pretty good. It seems to be about 120 this year for like a real solid week. You know,
if you're putting up 90 this year, it's almost a for sure loss.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Like
unless you're Allen.
Unless you're going against one of them 50-point teams that we get one of every week. So
unless you're playing Bailey or Todd, you know. But
dang.
Hey, Cody had one of them too. Cody had one of them too.
Yeah, let's not forget.
I had 2. I had 2 of those weeks.
You had 2 of them?
Yeah, I'm 2-2, and I've been the roller coastiest scorer.
You know what's fun for the pod is we're all 1-1 against each other. You beat Cody. Cody beat me. I beat you. So nobody wins 2-0.
What a fucking neutered pod we have. It's bullshit.
I'm so happy about that because I didn't want either of you two being 2-0. I wanted me being 2-0, but I'll settle for 1-1 all the way around. Would have been fun to see Cody go 0-2, but you know, it's whatever. He deserved it, but you know, he had the all-time ungodly performance against me. Apparently,
I always do.
Sucks every other.
Cody's gonna put up 75 points next week, and the trophy's gonna be out of the fucking front.
You're gonna see a sliver of it. Oh man. The revelation on Allen's team, I will say, has been Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
What a week.
We were all wrong about that.
He has the best offensive line in football.
God, these color changes on the commercials are insane.
You're like in a rave, man. It's funny.
Cannot wait to get lighting next week. Fuck.
But the benefited. He's got the best offensive line in football. Also, efficiency stats go up when you have a run threat quarterback. Your efficiency as a runner is better because the defense always has to have somebody spine the QB to make sure they're not keeping it. So it makes it easier as a running back. You might get vultured at the goal line and you might give up some rushing yards, but your efficiency stat usually goes up. That's
the biggest difference is that Jalen Hurts apparently figured out how to throw.
He admits it.
Look at the numbers.
I know, dude. I'm telling you, man, he definitely got better this year. For sure.
Yeah, he is doing it at Josh Allen pace. I hate it.
There's gonna be some tight competition between the Eagles and the boys the next few years, I think.
I hope that's false.
I don't think it is, man, but we'll see.
You might be right.
And then the other thing for Miles Sanders that went to his benefit was Boston Scott was out, so he picked up a few more carries because of that. Whenever Boston Scott's out, he's getting another 5
Not
touches.
a few more. He doubled his carries. He got
Yeah.
he got 29 touches this week.
Yeah, they were running the ball because it was raining down there. But
yeah, they figured it out a lot faster than Jacksonville did.
Yeah, I mean Jacksonville had a shot, man. They
really
did.
They got a pick six on the first drive of the game.
Yep.
And the coaches in Philly were like, "Hey, maybe let's not. Maybe let's start running the ball a lot more." And Trevor Lawrence just couldn't fucking hold on.
There is a fracas going on the LA sideline right now.
Oh man, I am fucking frozen and I ain't seeing shit.
Oh, a couple of the linebackers were getting down.
What else we got on this match?
Each other. Anyway, yeah, let's burn through it. James Robinson does nothing. Game scripted out, kind of. They were trying to play comeback, and I don't know. They forgot about James Robinson. They should have given him the ball more because he's been part of their success. But also, Philly's got a great run defense, so that's part of it too. Fletcher Cox is a tough man to run inside on. You know, Devontae had a decent week for the Raiders running the ball so much. You know, Allen should be happy that he escaped that with the stat line that he did. Yeah. Curtis Samuel, I think, is going to be a solid wide receiver 3 flex play all year because I think he's necessary in that offense when they're not getting just – the Commanders are going to do better than they've done the last 2 weeks. They faced 2 of the best defenses in the NFL.
Curtis Samuel's success is directly tied to Carson Wentz, which sounds a little silly because obviously the wide receiver is tied to the quarterback, but I think even more so, the highs and lows of Carson Wentz. He's going to have weeks where he puts up 4 touchdowns and almost 400 yards, and Curtis will get a big chunk of that. And he's going to have weeks where he looks like a potato, and all of his receivers look like potatoes as a result.
Again, though, like we said earlier, they played Philly and Dallas in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
Like, that offense might not be shit, but I think those –
You're right.
I think those defenses really – and the biggest weakness,
quarterback.
The biggest weakness they have is their offensive line, and they played the 2 best probably defensive lines outside of maybe San Francisco.
Denver's got a good one, but they just got
do you remember
cashed.
Carson Wentz the last week of last season? So like he doesn't just throw up duds against good teams.
Yeah. I'm not trying to like carry a torch for Carson Wentz.
Just making sure.
I just
pour a little water on top of it.
I saw that man run for his life 2 weeks in a row, and I feel a little bad about like shitting on his accuracy when he was on his ass all day.
That's accurate.
Dude, Debo's having a game.
Yeah, he is.
It's fun. Anyway, I love to see him do it against the Rams too. That bodes well.
I like seeing
they are scrapping out here, dude. There's some fights breaking out, man.
I can't wait to see that secondhand.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir. I'm not giving you any details. You'll get to watch it. It'll be fine. Anyway,
you are giving details.
Whatever. All right, fine.
For instance, there's a fight.
So we're done now, right?
Yeah, almost.
We should talk about the standings a little bit since we're at this point in the season.
Let's do that. Talk about the standings. Looking like I'm headed for that top spot. And
it's you. Nice. It's you and Allen at 3-1. I think it's Bailey and Todd at 1-3, and I think it's everyone else at 2-2.
Well, and I think I'm the number 1 overall because I think I got Allen beat on points too.
Yeah, but like both of your teams suck. Like
I'm okay with you guys being the 3-1.
My team is much better than Allen's.
I love looking up at you guys at 3-1 because that's not gonna hold.
We're fine. We got some things cooking like we always do.
You do not have anything cooking. You
just got
bailed out on Dalvin Cook.
Hey, bailed out. I made the trade, and I saw Josh Jacobs.
Austin bailed you out. That's what I'm saying. RB1. Austin bailed you out.
Josh Jacobs is having Josh Jacobs in terms of his underlying stats and his missed tackle rate and his burst score this year. He's having potentially the best season of his career this year. I'm just saying, through the first 4 weeks, yes, he is, dude. If you look at his
points before this week, that doesn't hold weight.
Look, he's been solid. He's been double-digit points every week.
That's not true.
What week was he not?
Week 1 and week 2.
Get him half the season.
Hold on.
7.8 week 1, 8.6 week 2,
Oh, you mean that
12.2
time
week
when he
3.
wasn't on? You mean that time when he wasn't on my team?
Yeah, okay, because that matters in the real world.
Hey, what I see right here is RB9 is what I see.
Okay, so we're pivoting. Is that what you're doing? You're pivoting.
We have changed the goalposts, and we are now firing over here.
He just put up 32 points. Of course, he got a boost to his.
I said that Josh Jacobs is a solid RB1, and he's RB9, which means that he's
he's an RB2 with upside.
32 points would beg to differ. But anyway,
again, 7.8,
is he going to finish
8.6, 12.2?
Let's talk about that RB9. Let's talk about that
anyway.
RB9. Where is he going to finish at the end of the year?
RB15.
Which is an RB2, to be clear for the listeners.
I'll take it. He'll be fun. I'll have to. And AJ Dillon, by the way, when it gets cold and AJ Dillon running that ball, he's going to be like Derrick Henry out there, man.
So you admit he's an RB2, though?
He could be. He's probably going to finish running back 15, but he's got a ton of upside.
So you're saying it without saying it?
What I'm saying is that right now he's running back 9, sir, and he just won me the week against you. So
solid dodge. You definitely went to school for political science.
Exactly. Hey, I'm a master debater, dude. Come on now. Anyway, otherwise known as
I'm positive that the only two people you could out debate in this league are Dave and Allen.
Oh, I'll debate with the best one, dude. You put me up there against the great minds in this league.
You sure trying.
But sleeper team, okay, Brent. To me, Brent's the team that could come in if he gets in the playoffs. He could beat anybody.
Yeah, If he happens to finish in the top 6 at the end of the season, I want him to be on the other side of the bracket just because it'll be a roll of the dice.
Yep.
I don't think he's gonna get all the way through the playoffs at that rate. But like, I don't want to be the one guy that he rolls fucking 19s and 20s against.
That's true. It's
I think.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I think if Erica could get her quarterback position right,
she has to though.
If she does, though, she's got her running backs are coming online. Okay, AJ Brown is solid. She's got Kelsey.
Yeah. Okay, I agree.
She's gonna be solid too, especially if Jonathan Taylor returns to some semblance of form.
Her team. But she better figure it out fast though, because you'd hate to be one of those teams that has one of those hot playoff teams and not in the playoffs,
like she did last season.
Yeah,
yep, exactly like last season.
Everything you're saying about Erica's team being a sleeper team is the way that I feel about Strozzi's team. If he can figure out, now that Patterson's out, at least if he can find a serviceable flex week to week, I think he's got potential as well.
I don't think Strozzi's sleeping. I think Strozzi's just got one of the better teams.
Well, you're right. But I mean, he takes a hit with Patterson going down because he doesn't have. I don't love Mostert. I don't love Smith-Schuster. I don't love Rex Burkhead.
No, but you gotta love Henry and Chubb.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm talking about you gotta have a third one to put in your flex spot. And that's what I'm saying. If he finds a flex spot, I think he's definitely at the top still.
At least he's only finding a flex and not finding a running back, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Right. I like Strozzi's squad.
Strozzi's weak at wide receiver, but he's got Chris Godwin coming back.
Yep.
So, he'll be starting DK, Chris Godwin, and Drake London in the flex is not a bad way to go.
Not at all.
Mm-hmm.
So he does have a good team. I mean, you could look down through a lot of these teams, though. Like we said, there is a lot of parity. I think I do think Austin's team is going to kind of continue to collapse by the way that things are trending for his team. Unfortunately,
why does Austin always manage his team into the dumpster? What's that about? Like he starts off pretty good.
I don't think he made it. It wasn't a bad trade. We made an equitable trade.
Yes, it was.
He got Dalvin Cook and Mike Thomas, man. It just happens to be that I
think he got fucking hosed.
Cody's sticking through the 2020 hindsight kind of vibe, but when you made the trade, it looked kind of juicy on both sides.
Yeah, so in defense of Austin in that trade, when we made the trade, all of the fantasy sites.
It's nice to know that you like call your like whoever you date rape like a taxi the next day. That's really rad of you,
dude.
but
Hey,
that's still happening.
I do my best. I'm a good guy. After all the violence and depravity, then at least they get them home safe. You know what I mean?
You gotta send him like a little like get well basket. Maybe
I'll send him
for his asshole.
Michael Scott. I'll send him a Michael Scott gift basket with some chocolate turtles. But anyway, so all I'm saying is
you owe him chocolate turtles.
If I win a championship, I'll get him some chocolate turtles. But the thing is, I was gonna say was I made a bad trade too. I don't feel great about the CeeDee Lamb one, but like I said, it's been fairly even. So as long as it continues that way, I'll be fine. But I do think CeeDee Lamb has more upside than Sutton. But I just made a call because I didn't want to sink it. Me too. Well, I think I did in retrospect, but it is what it is. What are you trying to say, Jake?
Did I want dinner?
Yeah, I gotta eat. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah, me too. Let's wrap it up. We don't need to go through the matchups next week. We made it through this difficult podcast as it was, and we'll splice it up and hopefully it looks good for you guys. So we did it again. Week 5. Sorry we missed last week. Just a lot of life stuff going on. Things will get more settled. And I'm not going to ruin this for you guys, but something cool happened. Anyway, take it easy. Peace and love. Peace and love to the universe.
Fuck up.
Something cool happened. What are you talking about?
Just let me see it.
Just shut the fuck up.
Then watch it. I didn't tell you anything that happened. How can I be excited?
You definitely did say something.
You did. Your version of nothing is not nothing.
Okay, first of
all, I bet Patrick
cool,
ruins movies
cool.
for Erica all the time.
All the time.
I do not.
All the time. Put her on. I'm gonna ask her.
They're asking if I ruin movies for you all the time.
No, ask her and then leave the room because I want her to be honest.
The answer is, survey says, not really. We win.
Hey. Not really.
We'll take it anyway.
I don't want an argument when we get off the pod, so not really.
Yeah.
Let's sign this bitch off, guys.
Please.
All right, take it easy, guys.
Goodbye. Good riddance.
Peace.